Good morning.
How y'all doing? We're
Good.
at the end of a pod weekend.
Drinking all the caffeine.
All of it. Chug it into the veins.
Yes.
Have you ever done
No.
an IV?
Mm-mm.
I want
thing?
to.
Me too.
Can we bribe Heather to do it?
She doesn't do it anymore.
Oh, dang
She's
it.
back at a hospital. Yeah,
Yeah, but she's still a nurse.
She doesn't just have bags of vitamin B hidden
What?
around.
They
in
don't
her-
just like
in her
She can get some
refrigerator.
B12.
Those bags are like $100 a pop
I
too.
know, especially the
Yeah.
B12. That's
Yeah.
just expensive.
But mom's friend, what's her face? Her daughters have, don't they have an IV
Laura?
situation? Yeah.
Something. Yeah, I think her daughter and son-in-law have something that
Yeah.
they
Interesting.
own. But that's in like California.
They have one here too.
Oh.
They've expanded
Oh,
in multiple locations.
the IV business is good.
Yeah,
It is good. It's become something that not just the 1% do, that the 10% do.
Nice.
Yeah.
20%.
Like, are we in
We're
the
not in there yet.
10%?
We're
I
not
don't
there.
think so.
We're in
50%?
75.
Yeah, we're in the everyone else category.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like parties, bachelorettes get in
I was
all
gonna
the
say
time.
it's big for bachelor and bachelorette parties now.
Mhm. I
Well,
would
you
love
got to
one.
be able to rally, and
Exactly.
I just want it for regular
For
life.
dates.
honestly,
Right.
same.
I just want it for daily
Can
life.
someone come give me B12 every single day?
Every single day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would be thriving.
Yeah.
Superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Limitless.
Hey, welcome to Blood and Contracts.
Hi.
This is episode 24. Today we're going to be talking about book club because we need a book club update. It's been a while. We also are going to pick our June book so that our audience can read with us. We have a couple books to chat through. And then our pillar conversation is going to be about body talk. We're doing an
Yaddy.
update episode and flipping it back because we haven't talked about it since episode 4,
Well,
Crazy.
20 episodes ago.
that feels like a long time ago.
It was. So
Yeah.
we need some updates. We're also going to talk about a different time of our bodies because if you'll remember in episode 4, and if you're not, it's linked in the show notes. You're welcome. We talked about the beginnings of our bodies, how bodies were talked about in our childhoods, and maybe the first inclinations of diet culture were thrust upon ourselves in the 90s and early aughts. So this time we're going to talk about college, high school-ish ages, late teens, early 20s, and what was setting into place for our personal stories. And then some updates about how we're feeling right now.
Fun times.
Mm-hmm.
Love
I
it.
love it.
Should we do a question though?
Yeah. I don't know why I wasn't prepared.
You're fine, babes.
You go.
Thanks.
And I have an eye on the clock too, since our timer's not working today.
Thank you. Do you want me to read it or Paul?
Please do.
Yes, please.
That's too big.
Oh.
We know the chunky questions because the paper's a little bit thicker.
Oh, that's another big one. Okay. No, this one right here. I think it's folded though. So it's inevitable. We're having a big question.
Okay.
Bring it.
That's good.
Describe your ideal home. Dwelling, location, amenities, the works.
Do we have a similar question?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
So, ideal home.
Halsey, you want to go first?
Sure. There is, I feel like my perfect home starts with the bathroom.
Okay, interesting place.
Crucial, you know.
Interesting
Everyone
place
needs
to start.
There's a state of the art Japanese toilet. There
Amen.
is a walk-in shower with the rain, like the 19 shower heads, all of it.
Oh, she said no water
Wow.
conservation.
Oh, absolutely not. Screw the planet.
What not
What
desert,
drought?
yeah, what not desert climate are you not living in?
Yeah. Built-in sauna,
Oh my.
all of the things.
Okay.
In the woods, preferably. Into the woods, but with a good Wi-Fi signal.
Mm-mm.
You're going to need one hell of a well.
Seriously.
Yes. Yeah. It's fine. There's also tankards you can get,
Sure.
You just drive into town and fill her up. Or actually, you can have them come to you
Oh,
to fill it.
a lot of work.
Money.
Okay, so in the forest.
Married rich. I married for money.
Jeez. Not love.
Not love. In the woods, kind of cabiny, definitely very like, you know, the Twilight house.
Oh no.
Like a fancy cabin.
Okay.
Yeah. With a hammock room and a big bed. I also want a conversation pit. Like I want like built in the 70s.
I do want one of those too.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's where it like dips down.
Yeah.
They stopped doing them because people kept falling into them. But, you know,
Danger.
put a handrail. So many pillows, so many blankets. I want the Kool-Aid house. I want the entertainment house. The
For
place
sure.
where people feel like they can come and be and sit for a while.
Yeah.
So you are talking dream house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In your mind, is it dream house, Kelly, or is it like realistic dream house? What do you dream for?
I think it's maybe more realistic dream house.
Yeah. Is it because you are a homeowner?
I think maybe.
Yeah.
And Jansen and I talk about this all the time too, like the checklist of my non-negotiables for the next house.
Absolutely.
Are much more than what they were to get into this house, because I was like, get out of the apartment. We also were on a very tight timeline that was like, we have to find a house by this day or 6 months from now.
The list got real short.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic was starting to like percolate.
Trinkle in.
Yeah. I mean, we had hardly heard about it when we were looking, because we were shopping around like January 2020. So a whisper.
It was in
really
the international waters.
Yeah.
Not over here.
Yeah.
Like we learned last night.
Yes. So buying Christmas presents.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, yeah, I think my dream home is, I would think, a little bit more realistic, but I do have a lot of things on my checklist.
Okay.
I would, if I'm staying somewhere in a warmer climate, Arizona, whatever, I have to have a pool at the next house.
Yep.
That's
Number one.
non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
We have a fairly large home. Like we got a bigger home for our first home, but I would like more.
Really? I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I'd want more bedrooms.
Okay.
So we could do like some sort of, I think, home movie theater type action movie room, or like an indoor gym situation in one of the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting a lot of barn dominium type homes because we've talked about that a lot. So I feel like I'm getting targeted Instagram accounts with that.
It's just Jansen going to your phone and being like, barn dominium,
honestly,
barn dominium homes, barn dominium neighborhoods, barn dominium for wives.
Honestly.
For wives.
Yes. Well, it's working.
But accurate.
And called out, maybe. No, I
hurt,
like,
honestly.
Do we hurt your feelings?
Oh no.
I like the idea of them though, because there's a lot of open space with them, and there's a lot of possibility to do things with that open space.
Customizing to your desire.
Yeah.
For sure. Less restrictions.
Yeah. So I would like that. Ideal location, I would not like to stay in Arizona. I'd like to go somewhere with seasons.
Amen.
I do like Colorado. I was born there and raised there.
Yep.
But it's also kind of expensive to live there. So iffy. But they do have all 4 seasons.
True.
Sometimes in a single day.
Springtime.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait 5 minutes, as they say.
Yeah. Getting dressed in Colorado is very hard. Like,
layers.
Do you bring a jacket with you? You bring something that you can take on or off, whatever. But I think somewhere either middle America, kind of.
Stay away from the coasts, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Near a lake.
Yeah, a lake would be nice.
Like,
a lake house would
I
be
don't
so
know.
fun.
Michigan or
crazy.
And there's a lot of lakes to choose from over
so
there.
So
it's like
many.
crazy, like Ohio.
not
Maybe
Ohio.
like
But like
Cleveland
Michigan. Ohio.
So, yeah, I think
I love your
keep
dreams.
it a little simple, but I also, the shower sounds very nice, so I'm very
so that's
into
the thing.
that.
It's like you guys are like saying go like achievable. Mine's achievable. I just need the right funding.
At 27, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that shower's achievable.
But not practical.
But delightful.
I know what a shower like that costs in a bill format.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like every day, that's how we're showering. It's too much. At
Oh.
some point, you're getting in that shower. You're like, you know what? There's too much water on me.
Just get in, get out.
Yeah.
I don't need to linger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do love a lingering shower.
I
But
love linger.
Yeah.
would I rather do that with pool? Yes. Yes.
And maybe like a pool house. So you have like a nice shower spa kind of deal going on back there that you can just really relax and
a little outdoor shower.
The theme I'm
In the
seeing
woods.
is that you just don't want to leave home. Everything should be at home.
yes.
And I don't need to go out into the real world.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's the ideal.
Exactly. Because
Yes.
like with the gym, I want to go,
Yes.
but I don't want to have to wait for a machine, wipe down said machine. I don't know what nasty person has just been touching this.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
And even it can go on. People looking at me.
Yeah.
Catching someone's eye that I did not want to catch. Oops, sorry. Look
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And the nastiness across the gym. It smells. It feels musty. I don't like it. I just bought a walking pad, as you know.
Yes.
It has
We all have one now.
Yeah, we all have walking pads now. It has unlocked something that I thought was not achievable. But being able to watch Bravo on my big old TV.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
And just walk for an hour and a half.
Nice.
I lose track of time. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
My favorite is to turn on like a YouTube, like a long YouTube video,
Yes.
like a good video essay. We know I love a good video essay.
We do.
We notice. And yeah, you could just go walking.
I
Love
have
it.
tripped a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Mine is too narrow
Yeah.
for my gait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
I
have
got
a
thighs.
Do
Yeah.
you have a handrail?
No, and I need it.
It has been very helpful to have that.
Mine
and I
did
can put
not
it
come
down.
with one.
Nice.
It was worth the extra
Extra.
$30.
Originally, I was like holding on to my desk
Yeah.
because I had it underneath, but now I've rearranged because I now have a desk chair and give me these.
Yeah.
But it's still not.
I keep mine like behind this couch, so then when I'm walking, I can hold on to it if I need to.
Yes.
Now it's next to my couch, so I can
Smart.
grip something if I need to.
You got to find something, you know?
Yeah. It's been
Something to
lovely.
hold on to.
It's a good time.
And I know it's going to be really hot and yucky.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to want to go outside and it's going to be too hot to walk Heidi.
No.
So I'm going to try and teach her to get on it.
I want to try to
Oh.
teach our dogs.
It's just scary because their claws can get caught.
Oh, watch her.
Well, I know.
I mean,
but I'm
that's
just-
entertainment right there.
True.
For a half hour
True.
to watch
A
my
dog
dog
on a-
hold a little
treadmill.
treat.
Yeah.
They do have those the ones that come to your house. That are like the doggy treadmills, and they have the ones that are water submerged for older dogs.
Oh.
So
Oh.
it helps with their like arthritis and
That's
stuff.
really not in our finances right now.
No,
but-
I know, but anyways.
it's cute.
But if you
I've
can
seen TikToks.
buy that big mansion and
Yeah.
Yes. I don't need a mansion. I shouldn't have said the Twilight house. I think it's just the
You just
vibe
wanted to bring
of the
up Twilight. You
surrounding.
get it.
Yeah,
Well,
she did
always.
want to bring up Twilight.
Always want to bring up Twilight. I think it's just the
Twilight or
vibes
Taylor
of
Swift, one of the two every episode.
Ooh,
She gets one each time.
I do. Thank you.
I did like the mid-century modernness of their
Yes,
home. I do like
exactly.
that style of house.
Yes. I think it all goes back to
Yeah.
I want a house that was built in the 70s.
Same.
What is yours?
It changes pretty frequently. James and I have a lot of ideas, but the theme of having enough stuff in the house that we don't have to ever leave it, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
I do want the ability to have a backyard that I can garden in because we really want to do that. Want to expand in that homestead life.
Yeah.
And
Grow some vegetables.
yeah, grow veggies, grow flowers. We would have done it in the Linwood house, but we knew we weren't going to be staying there for a long time. So it kind of just felt
Yeah.
pointless. Also, during the pandemic, when everyone was getting a gardening hobby or a baking hobby, he and I were both working our butts off. So there was
Yeah.
no time for that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Now he's in his baking era.
Yeah, for his sourdough era.
Mm-hmm.
Kitchen, I can't wait. I can't wait for the time of life when I get to actually choose what my kitchen looks like and what I want as a part of it, because I've never been able to do that.
Yeah.
And he and I both love to cook and bake. So
And you haven't had a full, like, big kitchen ever.
Yeah.
And I want a kitchen that feels like everybody can feel comfortable to hang out there, like good bar stools, good
like your
space.
guys' kitchen, like Kelly and Jason's kitchen.
Great island that has enough space that people can gather around and chill. I do like your guys' concept downstairs where the living room is still attached and like very much everyone can gather and be around and like be in talking distance. That feels lovely.
Yeah.
But I've been known to be the Nora Ephron girly. Like all of the kitchens in Nora Ephron movies
they're magical.
are, and the houses from Nora Ephron movies are like just kind of stick in your mind. Or Meryl Streep movies like It's Complicated, her house.
That kitchen.
Have you ever seen It's Complicated?
No.
With Alec Baldwin? I'll send you pictures.
Okay.
She's in California and it's a 1-level house and it's probably was built in the 90s, but it's
in like Northern California.
Yeah. It's cozy without being cluttered.
Yeah.
And homey without being grandma-y.
Yeah.
And
just
the kitchen,
warm.
Yes, warm.
It's that very
and the kitchen
warm
is
home.
incredible.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there's so much light. Like I love lots of windows.
Is that the one where she also gets the
extension?
The add-on?
Yes.
Yeah.
With Steve Martin.
Who's
also in it.
Yeah.
It's a lovely movie.
Wow.
One of my faves.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
He's an architect and he's helping her add on a big extension to the house with a new primary bedroom that will like overlook this vineyard valley that she lives on and expand her kitchen because she is a restaurateur and baker and chef.
Yeah.
And she needs more space to be able to create at her house.
Interesting.
Great movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I live in that realistic dream world of, because I do want to be able to achieve it. And I also don't want a big house. I don't want a mansion. I have no desire. James and I have always said we wanted a smaller house because we just want enough for ourselves and then like guests.
Yeah.
And I would rather spend more money on the outside. Gardening, gym situation, and pool.
Yeah.
Pool's a must.
I think the reason why I want a larger home is because I want all the things, but I also want space so people can stay.
Yes, totally.
Because I wish we had more than one guest room.
Yeah.
And even that one guest room, I had to fight a little bit to get at first because Jason was like, it's our space. Like, that's just a dead room then because it just sits for so long. Now it's getting more use, so that's nice. But like,
you just want people to be comfy.
Yeah.
I get it.
So.
Good houses.
Yeah.
How sweet. What a great question. Just sitting next
We've got
to Kelly.
pups in the room today.
He's so sleepy.
Yeah.
So, hey, book club. Kelly finished Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas.
Yes.
We are, before we get into this discussion, going to take a little break from Miss SJM. She's had some controversial things happening in the social media space lately. And we just feel a little uncomfy about supporting her at the moment. So we're going to let that play out. Did you enjoy the book? However,
I did. I did. I ran through it.
Yeah, you devoured.
It took me a while to get through it.
Because you just weren't in like a reading mood at the time.
Yeah. I think I did like the book.
Yes.
I do feel like it took a little bit to get going though. And I felt similarly to that in book 1 where I had to get to about halfway before things really started getting into it. And I wanted to keep reading. But I've just felt, in a weird reading spot where there's other things I've been wanting to do or that is hard to read while doing. So it took a little longer.
Yeah, I think I read it in like a week.
Oh, dang.
Because she was texting me being as like things progressed and changed. There will be spoilers, obviously.
Yeah, so many spoilers.
So we're not a Rhysand hater anymore?
He's still rice ball.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. God damn it.
Okay.
Listen, I love a fictional man with wings.
She writes him good.
Yeah.
She does.
With wings.
Except his wings get so hurt so many times in this book.
So many times.
They're dangerous. Or they're fragile, I mean.
Yeah.
now that you've read this book and you're starting to see like how the rest of the series will play out, because a lot of what happens in the second book sticks, like her and Rhysand stick, like that's a consistent theme.
Phew, I got nervous.
Yes.
Well, the last 3 chapters of book 2 were like a fucking heart attack for 3 chapters.
I know.
Because, as soon as they like got into the main bad guy's castle, I was like, hey, what is happening? Because then her sisters were there, and now her sisters are Fae.
Did you have to do a couple of like, can I reread that?
Yes,
page
no, I
again?
reread that.
Like, what is happening?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the sister. Well, you kind of called it too, because you're like, there's no way the sisters don't come back.
Yes, well, especially the
Nesta,
the oldest sister.
Yes,
and in the end of book 1, I was expecting the sisters to be brought in.
Totally.
Same.
And they didn't. And I was like, wait, but
yeah, she made us wait for it a little bit.
Yeah.
That was, it kind of came the way I expected it to as well. I didn't think it was going to be, and it was going to be against their will. Like it was not going to be a choice that they made to like be with their sister.
Yeah.
No.
Hard pass, especially because Elaine was still engaged.
Yeah.
So that plays out a little bit more in the third book.
Yeah.
Rhysand and Feyre. Are we fans?
I like them
together.
Yeah. I like how much he respects her. Because respect is hot. Consent, hot. That he just thinks so highly of her.
And has always.
Yes.
I think that's what I loved figuring out was his concept of Feyre and where it actually started and how much he protected her from the get-go.
Yeah.
Not protected her, but like knew of her importance to him pretty early on and wanted to respect that without being overbearing until she was ready and in a place that she could understand all that was going on.
Yeah.
And then,
sorry, go ahead.
And then when he explained it to her of when we were in the mountain, this is why, or under the mountain, this is why I did this. This is like, he lays it all out and it's like, oh, like you really did have my best interest and you wanted me to be able to make my own decisions.
Yep.
And you respected whatever that decision was, even if it wasn't what you wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
You still were here and you did whatever it took to help me survive, whether I knew that in the moment or not.
And that it was always going to be him. Even from when she was human.
Yes.
And she
hoped anyway.
Well, that he hoped, but that he was able to show her the vision of the stars. Yeah. And then that's what she painted on her drawer.
Yeah. I liked that. I didn't clock that the first time I read it, by the way. I don't remember reading that at all.
Yeah.
So that was
a fun little detail.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Sense.
I loved kind of her little runaway to the cabin. And her just painting everything.
Yeah. So random.
So great. Painting everybody's eyes above the entryways.
Okay, so now that you've read this book, in our live, we talked about the potential of it becoming a movie. Does it becoming an animated series make sense now that you have gone through book 2? Or are you still thinking it would be better as live action?
I like live action more than I like
animated.
I just think animated would lend itself to the fight scenes to me better than live action would. Only because like unless they're doing a lot of
CGI.
Not CGI, but the other real effects, whatever it's called.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, fight scenes in recent movies though have gotten better.
True. Yeah.
So I feel like we could be in a place that could lend to the fight scenes being with real people versus being animated. But I think that's honestly just personal preference because I lean more towards that versus animation.
Is it also hard for you to imagine like a spicy cartoon?
Maybe. I want to see it as real people.
You're like, this doesn't turn me on.
Yeah. Listen.
This is just paper
That dining table. Chapter 55.
Chapter 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I think kind of along the lines of what we talked about on our live, I just can't imagine. One, I'm scared of them twilighting it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so cheesy and cringy and I can't look away. Don't make me feel that about these characters, especially Rhysand. Like,
yeah,
I can't do the cringe. And that's all Twilight is for me now, especially having just rewatched it with James.
Isn't it like inherently cringe though already?
The book itself?
Yeah.
Some of it.
No. James is starting to read them and he is
Poor guy.
kind of surprised.
Yeah.
you're next.
There is a ton
Hell
of
no.
ton of action, ton of war. Like the third book is all about a war. That's all
and
it
book
is.
2 was
Well, you think that's all men like is war?
You tell me.
I've never read a war book.
What
in my
is
life.
your Roman Empire? You know? Just kidding.
Titties.
My
There's
Roman
those too.
Empire is John Benet Ramsey. I think about her every day.
Oh,
My Roman Empire is being overweight.
Oh, okay. Well,
I've thought about it my whole life. Every day.
on that note, let's talk about
Bodies. Well, no, we gotta choose our book
We gotta
first.
choose our book first.
Okay, I brought a couple, and then you guys have a couple.
Yeah.
One is a series, but it's only a 2-book series, and it's been turned into a Netflix show, so some might be interested. But Six of Crows, pretty popular by Lee Bardugo. How do you say this? Bardugo. I've read several of her books now. This is gonna have to be edited.
No.
What is it called?
The plot.
No, not the plot. Her other book.
I can look that up.
The
Yeah.
sequel.
No, her other series is also a Netflix show already.
Oh, funny.
Lee Bardugo.
Shadow and Bone. It's literally on the front of the
yeah.
book.
There you go.
I read the Shadow and Bone series, which is a book of 3, and pretty good. The show was meh, but everyone that has read the Shadow and Bone series says the Six of Crows series is like 10 times better.
oh,
But they are thick books.
yeah.
So I don't know if we want something this intense for our June book.
It's also fantasy again.
It is fantasy again. And
Yeah.
we've been kind of talking about off screen that maybe we want a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Which
Maybe no wings for a second.
wings, scales, dragons. Chicken. We always want chicken wings. This came out a couple of years ago. It is called Transcendent Kingdom. Earned a bunch of praise. It was a Read with Jenna book. I think it was also an Oprah Book Club book pick as well. It was selected for the 2016 National Book Foundation's 5 Under 35 Award. It was also a National Book Critics Circles and John Leonard Award for the Best First Book, and winner of the Penn and Hemingway Award.
Wow.
All the awards.
So many awards.
Would you like me to read the description?
What's it about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yagyas, I can't say her name. Yagyasi's stunning follow-up to her acclaimed homegoing spectacular Zadie Smith and inspiration Ta-Nehisi Coates is a novel about a Kahanian family in the contemporary South, at once a profound story about race in America and an astonishingly intimate portrait of a young woman reckoning spiritually and intellectually with a legacy of unimaginable loss. Gifty is a 6-year PhD candidate in neuroscience at the Stanford University School of Medicine, studying reward-seeking behavior in mice and the neural circuits of depression and addiction. Her brother, Nana, was a gifted high school athlete who died of a heroin overdose after an ankle injury left him hooked on OxyContin. Her suicidal mother is living in her bed.
I'm so stressed.
Gifty is determined to discover the scientific basis for the suffering she sees all around her, but even as she turns to the hard sciences to unlock the mystery of her family's losses, she finds herself hungering for her childhood faith and grappling with the evangelical church in which she was raised, whose promise of salvation remains as tantalizing as it is elusive. Transcendent Kingdom is a deeply moving portrait of a family of immigrants ravaged by depression and addiction and grief, a novel about faith, science, religion, love. Exquisitely written, emotionally searing, it is also a testament to Yagyasi's extraordinary range of ambition, a leap into completely new territory undertaken with effortless command and raw emotion in a language that soars. Everyone that
Shut up.
Jansen. Everyone that has read this book in my life has said that this was their favorite book of the decade.
Wow.
And has recommended it to me multiple times. It's been on my TBR shelf since the pandemic. I bought this so long ago. And yeah, everyone that I have known personally that's read it has just absolutely loved it.
And it's a little shorter.
It is a little shorter. And it's only a novel. It's not a series. And it's set in modern day time, which might be interesting. No dragons. And I kind of thought it was interesting that it did have some kind of spiritual, like faith-based conversations, which we've talked about in our personal lives and on the show, but not read anything. So there's that one.
Interesting.
And I think we're going to pick a book by chance, potentially. How do we feel about that?
I'm putting them into a picker wheel while you're talking in case you want to do that.
I love that idea. Okay. Who has another book?
So my book is one Kelly pitched in the past, which I have started, but I'm not like super far into it.
Okay.
Is Keeper of Enchanted Rooms. It is a series, but not the books aren't super long.
How many books are in the series? 3?
3 at the moment. I think there's another one coming though.
Oh, okay.
If I can find the synopsis. Hold, please.
It's about witches and wizards and shit. I read it already.
Oh, okay. There you go.
You read it already?
Is there?
You listened to it, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty good.
So, Rhode Island, 1846. Estranged from his family, writer Merritt Fernsby is surprised when he inherits a remote estate in the Narragansett, something like that, Bay. Though the property has been uninhabited for more than a century, Merritt is ready to call it home until he realizes he has no choice with its doors slamming shut and locking behind him. Wimbrel House is not about to let Merritt leave, ever. Huldah Larkin of the Boston Institute for the Keeping of Enchanted Rooms has been trained in taming such structures in order to preserve the historical and magical significance. She understands the dangers of bespelled homes given to tantrums because the house like retaliates.
Right. I remember Kelly reading this.
Yeah. And she advises that it's in Merritt's best interest to make Wimbrel House their ally. To do that, she'll need to move in too.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
So that's an option.
Did you have any thoughts? Choices?
The only one that I had on the top of my list that wasn't an SJM is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Yeah.
By V.E. Schwab.
Yeah.
But you've already
But
read
I'd be
it.
welcome to read it. I haven't read it since I first read it, and that was like 2020.
Yeah. And to my understanding, it's a standalone book, right? So
Yes.
it's just one. It's not a series.
Yes.
And
It has magic to it, but it's more spiritual than magical. And it's more about the history that she walks through and less about the magic of it all. There's a lot to be left for the reader to like imagine themselves, and less that's being explained to them. Not a ton of world building, I guess.
Okay.
It's great.
It's a similar story with the Keeper of Enchanted Rooms.
Oh, interesting.
gotcha.
It's not so much
I
about the
don't think
magic.
I've read that.
It's the one that she just pitched.
That's the one.
God, Lord.
Yep.
I'm so
Struggle
tired,
bus.
guys.
It's okay.
Sorry. Okay,
So,
that's a good set. Shall we pick?
yeah.
Let it roll.
Boopity pop. What'd it do? That's so
Well,
cute.
I'm just showing the...
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Spin the wheel.
We're spinning. Oh, there's sound.
Oh, there's sound. How exciting. Transcendent Kingdom. What a thrilling little wheel.
Wow.
Please save that. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, that's
Sure.
We're going to feel things. We're going to learn things.
Yeah.
We're going to cry.
Okay.
I'm about to finish This Little Life,
Just
which
another
is
Tuesday.
Oh, I absolutely
Obviously.
refuse to read that book.
because it's so emotional.
Because it's just like trauma vomit.
I disagree.
Yeah.
It is not trauma vomit. It is
Okay.
a really hard book
Yeah.
talking about some really hard things, but there's
What
beauty.
book? I'm sorry. I stopped
This Little
listening.
Life.
No, you're right. I stopped listening too.
Same.
Cool. This is super fun. This Little Life by Hanya Yagasi.
Ah.
Is that her last name? I think so.
Gotcha.
Won a
Emerald Lagasse.
Nope. Won a ton of awards when it came out, and it's kind of known for being just the ending is incredibly sad. Like Book Talk girlies will just record themselves reading the last couple of chapters, bawling their eyes out. Bawling. Because you've gone through, the book is about 4 friends that you watch go through life from almost birth to death. And it's very intense.
Gotcha.
Okay. I have purchased Transcendent Kingdom.
Fabulous. Okay. So for our viewers at home and listeners, if you'd like to join us in a book Clurb discussion and reading, we're going to do Transcendent Kingdom for June. And you hopefully will get to see some more book content on our socials, but also I'd like to do more lives. I think they're super fun. Love talking to our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to our pillar of conversation for today, which is an update on body talk. As a reminder, the last time we talked about our bodies, we walked through how topics of weight loss, fitness, and self-love were handled in our childhood, as most of us grew up as 90s babies. In a word, traumatizing. You may or may not know that we discussed this one in our first few episodes, episode 4, which I said I have linked in the show notes if you'd like to re-listen. It was a great episode. It was one of our most watched on YouTube for the whole season. We're going to do this every season with certain topics and circle back to a time in our past that we want to unpack together so that we can get to learn each other or know each other more on this level, and that you can know us more on this level. So for this one, as a recap, Kelly, in your current state, you said you didn't love your body, but you were working through your relationship with her. You grew up being the curvier of your sisters because they were always, as you said, the skinny minis, and she was just different.
True.
Halsey, you said you had similar experiences with, Jansen being more athletic of us, and growing up with a brother and having that difference. But in the present, you were focusing more on your mental health in the last year versus your physical health. And you have had an immense amount of change in the last 5 years, i.e. Bosnia coming out, moving in with grandpa and mom, different jobs. The list goes on and on.
That's it.
So therefore needed to focus on what was happening in
go
here.
Inside.
I just mostly said I'm in my fitness girl era and just trying to, I don't know, understand myself more, like why I do the things that I do, and unpack that for myself and find healthier habits. Yay. This episode, the last Body Talk episode was filmed in October of last year. So quite been a minute.
Yeah.
And a lot has changed even since then. So I would love an update on how you guys are doing since then, since so much has changed, and how your physical health is today. Halsey?
Well, I'm cooking for myself a lot
You
more.
are
cooking all the meals in my new little kitchen.
So cute.
So nice. I've also, like I talked about with our resolutions
update
in the last episode, I have a doctor's appointment on the 30th with a body doctor. Basically.
Dietitian, right?
She's
a nutritionist?
Whichever one is the licensed one, which I think is dietitian. Yeah. So she's a dietitian, but she's also an MD. So yeah, I'll meet with her on the 30th.
Sweet.
And then a friend of mine and I are starting a little not weight loss challenge, but like
point
system reward thing. Yeah. Encouragement challenge, as we're calling it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Super
to
fun.
Both encourage each other to make better choices for ourselves.
And do you feel like moving out was the catalyst to having some mental space to be able to focus this way?
Yeah. I mean, also just having a kitchen that's just mine and having the ability to like, okay, I can stock my fridge with the things that I know I'll actually like cook and eat and all those things. So
yeah. And not have to like fight for space to do that where like, oh, you just went grocery shopping and the fridge is full now. I would eat something different, but there's no space for it. So
totally.
Yeah.
And the space to cook, like the time to cook, because you're not competing with anybody trying to use the kitchen. You don't feel in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's a really nice kitchen, like we talked about,
Yeah.
which always helps.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, it's a brand new appliances and everything, which is nice. And yeah, and it's just mine, and it's very open, and my TV's on a swivel, so I just turn it towards the kitchen and turn a little show on and cook dinner for myself each night. And
fun. Seems positive. That's, I feel like, a huge difference since October of just positiveness.
Yeah.
That you're willing to talk about it and pursue it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yee. I can't wait to hear about the doctor
Cancel my
appointment.
gym subscription, but only because I was paying money for a thing that I didn't have the time to use.
Well, maybe you can talk to your dietitian about her recommendations.
But I've been
and what
using,
that looks like.
a walking pad to get my steps in and
good.
All that. Just like for me, it's just about movement and just like starting somewhere.
Totally.
So
right on.
I've been doing these like modified exercises and stuff just to kind of like get started.
Yeah.
And one of them that I found is you look so stupid when you do it.
Always.
But it's very fun.
Okay.
So you like sit on your couch.
Okay.
And then if you have a chair that has wheels, you put your feet on it and then you use it to like do pushes in and out and like modified crunches basically.
For sure.
And so I look ridiculous, but I can do so many of them and that feels good,
Cool.
right? And then afterwards, like I feel better. I've gotten some endorphins and
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep your windows closed.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's a windows closed activity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine?
You just walk by, you're like,
what? Put her on TikTok.
Yeah.
What is happening in this apartment?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you smiling about talking about your body.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
Miss Kelly. How you feeling?
Don't feel like a lot has changed really.
Yeah.
But I think I've also been cooking a lot more and trying to eat healthier and just be more aware of the type of food that I'm putting in my body. I feel like we're eating a lot healthier, fresher food versus like frozen chip. I had chips yesterday, but like
we do love a chip.
Listen, it's all about moderation.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I keep kind of telling myself is you can have the thing you love, but just have less of it.
Yeah. Serving sizes.
So, serving sizes. So, like, Jansen really wanted a bag of Doritos.
Yes.
And he was like, I know I shouldn't get them. And I didn't actually do this, but if you want me to, I will. So just let me know. I was like, I'll buy you the bag. And if you want, I'll break up the portions for you ahead of time. So it's a little bit easier to say I'm only eating the portion versus I'm just going to grab the bag and like, I'll count the chips as I'm eating.
You never count the chips.
You can also just buy the fun size bags.
Well, yeah.
Well, the flavor.
I just keep counting is the problem.
Yeah. He's like, oh, it's fine. Just keep it.
1 fun size bag, 2 fun size bags.
Yeah. The flavor, though, of Doritos that he's been into are the sweet, spicy, chili ones, and they don't make the fun size bags.
Yeah. They are tasty.
They are, right?
Yes.
I'm not supposed to eat them because corn, but I will eat like 1 or 2 because they were my favorite Dorito.
I had never had them until I came here.
Yeah, they're so yummy.
They're very
You ate my chips?
I just had 3.
So,
all right.
Kelly was there. She saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm cooking for myself more often and all that kind of thing, but like, I'm still gonna have my Captain Crunch in the cabinet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, but now I'm having.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't even
But it's Captain Crunch berries.
I don't even let that come into the house. There's no way.
Yeah.
That thing would be gone.
I loved
Christmas but now I have, Mom's Christmas Captain Crunch. I miss it.
Yeah.
But like, it's okay if it stayed there for me. Yeah. There's no serving size when it comes to Captain Crunch.
No, you eat it till your mouth hurts.
Yeah. 4 bowls until the roof of your mouth is bleeding. Great.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Achieved.
Yeah. But I feel like in the break, I also just felt like I had a hard time wanting to move my body.
Yeah.
And we had conversations off podcasts of like, I've been making excuses for myself to not move my body. And I know I need to get through that and over that, but it's just been difficult. But I feel like at least I'm calling that part out. I'm aware of it. And so now I just need to do the thing.
Yeah. Just Do it.
So, yeah.
Do it.
As that one brand says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But like we talked about this too. You are acknowledging it and aware, and that's a huge aspect.
Yeah. So.
That's good. I have noticed that you guys are doing a lot of serving sizes, weighing things out.
Yeah.
I loved that you did that with the chicken bowls. Kelly made these like buffalo chicken bowls with blue cheese and sweet potato fries and shredded lettuce.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I ate that up.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
It was good.
I missed out on that meal.
Yeah.
I'll make it next. I can make it next
Was
time.
that was Thursday night's dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel dumb doing it sometimes because I feel like, oh, I'm taking the extra time, or I'm so aware of what I'm eating that I'm weighing it out, like that feels whatever. But
like obsessive?
A little bit obsessive. But in my mind, if I don't, then I'm going to put more sweet potato fries in there because that's what I like more. So I'm going to load the sweet potato fries.
Yeah.
But we had plenty.
I even asked him like, how much is a serving? Because this felt like a lot of fries and it was the perfect amount for me.
Yeah.
I felt full and satisfied by the end of that meal.
Yeah.
And my taste buds were very happy. But I know I hate the rap that using the weight and measure scales for meals and for ounces and finding out a serving size is obsessive, because I don't think it is.
I think it can be.
It can be. However, I was never raised that way to understand what a serving size should be.
Yeah.
And having to go back and teach myself and educate myself of what 3 ounces of something actually looks like instead of I'm going to guesstimate.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to do the fist, hand, palm, whatever the crap for serving sizes.
Yeah.
No. But first of all, my hands are big. So this means a lot of rice.
My palms are wide.
And this way too, it's consistent.
Yes.
So you know that when you make it on Thursday, it's going to be the same that when you make it on Friday, because you've weighed it out. You know it's the exact same amount of ingredients. So
with time too, especially I've been using Lose It for 2 years now.
Yeah.
An app, like not a weight loss app, but more just a food categorizing app. You start to learn what that looks like what 3 ounces looks like, or what a serving size of rice looks like. And you less and less will have to use it.
Yeah.
In the beginning, weighing it out makes it just so much easier. And there's no question of how much I actually had versus how much I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is like, I can weigh it out and fine. And that's fine. That is not what makes me obsessive. It's when I have to track it and write down every single thing that goes into my mouth.
That's just become
That's when I get
nature
obsessive.
to me. When I don't do it, I gain weight like that.
No.
Because I'm not
It makes me think twice about what I'm going to eat a little bit, because if I know it's something a little more junk food-esque, whatever, I'm like, well, I have to put it in the app. Do I want to use up those calories? Because I am more of the like calorie count kind of person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, do I want to use those on the 3 Reese's I'm about to eat? Or do I want to save that and have like a little bit more chicken?
Yeah. True.
It's usually the 3 more Reese's. Depends on the day.
I don't necessarily watch the calories because I never eat my full amount of calories that I should be eating. I watch it for the macros and the sodium levels. That's been something I've been trying to be more cognizant of.
Ew.
For the last 3 months was my sodium intake, because I was going 2,000 to 3,000 over my daily amount that I should, because there's sodium in everything, especially in non-fat things, in diet-y things, protein bars, preservatives, anything that you don't make yourself, the non-whole food situation. Yeah. So
1 cup of ramen noodles fuck your whole day up.
Oh, your whole day. Your whole week for me. We had Taco Bell last night because it was 4:20, and my hands are so swollen. So swollen. All the sodium. On that note, for me right now, I'm doing okay. I definitely am back to daily movement, which feels super good. I'm going to take a rest day today because my Oura Ring told me to.
Yeah.
Non-spawn. By the way, for sleep tracking, you and Jansen might want to try Oura Ring eventually. I've loved being able to have more information about how my body is resting versus when it's not. And it's always on target. Like today I woke up being like this has to be arresting.
Yeah.
Because I'm pooped. And my ring was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My HRV balance was a little off last night, probably because I smoked a lot and ate delicious things.
Yeah.
And worked out too. So my body needs a rest.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting. I've been on it for a year and a half, as it told me on the app. I had a little celebration moment.
Good.
And I have learned so much about myself and my internal self. That's been exciting to kind of unlock that. So I'm very equipped with all the knowledge. Now Helen and I just need to make a more tight game plan.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling better than I was a month ago, which is great.
That's good.
I would say progress-wise, when we started the podcast, I was seeing more progress, but with travel and change comes an unwillingness and sickness.
Yeah.
Becoming sick kind of threw me.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of the conversation, throwing it back to when you were in college or at the end of high school, I want to hear. So personally for me, this area of life was when a lot of my like harmful habits became cemented because I had alone time for the first time in college. I was an a CA. I was a community assistant. Like I did all the fun stuff and organizing stuff. And then my roommate was the RA and she had to do all of the not fun stuff and like breaking up the parties.
Yeah.
Whereas I was kind of like, oh, you're having a party? Oh, I don't see anything. I'm just going to go back to my room.
Oh, that was a bottle of Everclear in your room? Didn't see it.
Thought it was water. Yeah.
Oops.
So this was when I got into college. A lot of my, as a trigger, eating disorders were started. So a lot of binge eating, a lot of yo-yo dieting, and just harmful body dysmorphia and body image talk. Like all the really nasty negative self-talk happened towards the end of high school and college and then just like rooted and stuck around for the rest of my life. With this episode though, I'd love to hear more stories about how you guys were doing in your late teens, early 20s, what was going on in your brain and maybe in like the world around you, and also your friend groups. Like how were you guys talking as your friends? How was the subject of bodies being had, or was it something that was being avoided? Because for me, it was an avoidance topic because I had a lot of friends that were smaller than me and more athletic than me growing up. So it was this elephant in the room that we just didn't really talk about because I wasn't willing to talk about it. I was willing to be like, I'm no different than you. I'm just a girl. Yeah. Standing in front of another girl asking not to be judged. Who would like to go first? Also, you're like prepped.
I got my notes.
She's got her notes. She's ready to go.
I'll blast them real quick.
Tell us.
So we were all teens and preteens in the skinny girl era, skinny idolization era, I think, of like we were being told that Jessica Simpson was fat. Yeah. And that was bad. And that low-rise skinny jeans and crop tops were the goal. And
couldn't be me.
And what everyone wanted to be wearing. And meanwhile, I was trying to cover up my body as much as physically possible. Yeah. Including in like the dead heat of summer.
I was going to say while living in Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, it took one comment from a guy in high school about the cellulite on my thighs to never wear shorts to high school ever again for 4 years.
Yeah. But also, why does the comment need to be made? I just don't understand. Because
teenage boys suck.
They don't have to, man.
They don't have to, but they do. And I spent a lot of time trying to not resent my friends whose obvious worst fear was looking like me. The comments of I'm so fat while they pinch the 3 millimeters worth of body fat on their waistlines. And you can borrow something from my mom, or worse, their dads, because there was no way in hell I was fitting in anything of theirs. The pity looks from moms who took us shopping when I could only shop in the accessory sections of most stores because, God forbid, I make them go into the one store in the mall that sells jeans that fit over my hips. As I got older, these things obviously started to change more and more as mainstream stores started to carry clothes in my size, and now I don't see myself as the number on a scale, or the differences between me and my friends' bodies. But during that time, especially like going into my late teens and early 20s, it was a lot of that like looking at my body and looking at my friends' bodies and going
comparing.
Like, why does their body do that and mine does this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially because like I was a pretty active kid and relatively still pretty although I didn't play sports, I was in theater, I was in like really a lot of activities all through high school. And yeah, I just never could look like the people around me. But yeah.
Thank you for your experience.
You're welcome.
Kelly.
I don't know if I really ever had the conversations with my friends about weight or body, whatever. I think that relatively I was similar-ish size to a lot of people that I hung out with.
Yeah.
But I also knew that I had a little extra pudge than what they did. And because some of my friends were on like sports teams and stuff like that, which I didn't have as much time, I felt like, for sports, because in the summer we were always so busy with camp that for like sports camps and stuff like that, I couldn't go to them.
Oh, I never would have thought. Yeah, of
and
course.
a lot of those you had to go to them to be able to play the sport during the school year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I didn't get that opportunity. So some of my friends were more athletic than I was, and so a little bit more fit, but I didn't think that I was much further from them. But I also remember thinking, oh, this is just baby fat at some point. Like the rest of them is just going to melt away.
It's just going to fall off.
And I'm still waiting for that to happen. So,
so true.
Yeah. Like at some point, right?
It happens to everybody, right?
Yeah.
I remember this one conversation with my mom when I was in high school, and I kept looking at my fingers being like, I'm so sick of my like little chubby child fat fingers, and looking at my mom's fingers being like, okay, when am I gonna get the long, like I wanted my grandma's hands. I loved my grandma's hands. She had like the prettiest nails all the time and long skinny fingers, and my mom was just like, oh, when you're like in your 20s and 30s, they'll just elongate and they'll get better and it'll just fall off. I'm like, okay, I believe you.
Lies.
Here we are, little pudgies, which is fine. It's also why I wore long nails for the longest time, because they do elongate my hands and make them look a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But then the upkeep is just expensive and annoying. However, did elongate. But it's so funny what moms will say to like appease something in your brain to make you feel better and comfort. Like it's what they had available to them to be like, well, this happened to me. It was like more of her experience, and you're my genetic child. So like it's probably going to happen to you too.
Yeah. Forgetting our our other half of our genetics.
Yeah. Like, well, remember, you did make us with that big guy. Yeah. That big Italian guy.
Yeah.
Because I would look at her calves too. She has like the best skinny little calf legs. And she'd be like, oh yeah, you'll get these someday. I'm like, no, I won't.
No, we won't. Our brother did.
Yeah. I'm going to have these little ham chops down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
cracks me up.
Yeah. So it wasn't a big topic of conversation, but
that's good.
I think like in college, we kind of talked about it a little bit, not to like any extent, but like I remember one summer we did a weight loss challenge kind of thing.
And workout challenge.
I mean, it wasn't really workout, but because we were at camp all summer, and it was like, okay, let's weigh in at the beginning of the summer.
Oh, wow.
At the end, we'll see who's lost the most. And then we did it like money. So it was like,
I've done it too.
$25 a person or whatever. Like at the end, whoever loses the most gets the pot of
cash
money. But it was just me and my dad and Leanne. So,
oh my God.
And I'm pretty sure Leanne won.
Good.
Good job,
Leanne.
I know.
Good for you.
We've talked about this a little bit. Right before I left for Seattle, I did a Biggest Loser challenge with like a group of 10 moms. Why? Don't know.
And me and mom.
Oh yeah, you guys were in it too?
Yeah.
And our cousin?
Yeah.
Random. Very random. And it was a money pot situation. And just watching the competition of
those moms got
women,
ruthless.
Grown women. And it was based on percentage of loss, so not actual poundage to make it fair, because everybody has different things to lose and different body capacities, that kind of thing. But yeah, watching these women rip each other apart behind the scenes about how they're starving themselves. That's why they're losing so much weight. So I guess that's what I have to do. And I can't believe that I'm not losing. And like just the obsession and thinking.
There's one woman who pops into my mind instantly. Her name starts with an M. And she but she was always that way with this group of women. Like, she's just so competitive about what her kids were in, like, and how like perfect they were, and all, like, everything in her life is a competition against these other moms.
Yeah.
Because they all have kids around the same age, and they're all in like home groups together. Yeah. And it was just the most toxic
and all attached to
positivity.
Church. Yeah. They all came from about the same church.
Yeah.
And it further proved to me like this community is so unhealthy.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this to ourselves, but also why are we doing it to each other? It feels so yucky.
Yeah. The weigh-ins would be silent.
So quiet.
Like, no one would talk to each other. It was so weird. And it was,
there'd be some tears, girls walking away crying because they hadn't lost as much.
Me.
And girls who had lost
who was in high school.
But it was not enough.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Luckily, we didn't have that atmosphere of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't too
negative.
Competitive.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it sounds more encouraging too.
Yeah,
between
we
the
were
three
just
of you.
like, oh, let's do this. And my dad like bought all the protein powders and stuff for us too for that summer. So it was like, I'm glad you're doing it because that stuff's expensive. And
very.
We like all went to the store to like pick out which one we wanted and like what flavors we wanted to like get going.
Awesome.
So it was, I think, more positive a little bit than that. And we didn't do weigh-ins throughout the summer. It was just like we'll weigh in at the beginning and then at the end we'll see where we're at.
Yeah.
Love that.
So
what was moving and going into college like for you when it came to food, like eating on campus and having that change of not being around family meals, but instead switching that to be so independent at a really young age? Did you feel like a huge difference when you moved?
Not really, to be honest, because a lot of my meals were in high school at camp. And so I didn't eat with my parents every day. I didn't, I didn't sit with them at every meal. I didn't whatever. So it felt like going to the like student union and choosing from that felt similar to walking through a line at camp. But it wasn't major. But and I also didn't have like a lot of money to eat off campus to begin with until I got a job.
Yep.
So I was just using my meal swipes to be able to get whatever I could there. But so it didn't feel like a huge transition, but being able to having access to more, because they had like at that time it wasn't actual chain restaurants. It was like off-branded off-branded Chipotle, off-branded whatever. And so it was fun to go get those and have easier access to that because I didn't have a Chipotle in the town where I lived. So like that was a fun thing to eat. Everybody loved Chipotle.
Plus,
and
if you go right off GCU campus, it's one of the best taco restaurants in the valley.
Really?
Taco Mish. Or not Taco Mish.
Never ate?
Oh, no. Oh my God, what's it called? It's the one right off campus. You never went to that taco place?
The one that's like right in that shopping center?
On the corner.
Never went there.
Not Taco Mish. What is it called?
That's hilarious.
Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Chipotle was really big back then.
It was.
Yeah, it was also better back then.
Well, that's true.
And because like I remember I managed wrestling in high school, so we had a bunch of meets that we'd have to go to on the weekends.
Not meets as in food.
Right.
Wrestling
competitions.
Meets. Yes.
And we would all the boys always wanted Chipotle at the end of the day. So we had it all the time. But
because they can get their protein.
Yeah.
They can get their macro goals. Yeah, for sure. I loved a Chipotle.
Yeah. But I didn't think it was that big of a transition anyways to bring it back.
That's good though. I feel like my transition when I became a CA was so stark because I went from being at home full time to being on campus full time and having a kitchen because our apartment complex, it wasn't a dorm style, it was apartment complex style. So I had my own bathroom and bedroom on one side of the apartment, a living area and a full kitchen.
And a walk-in closet.
and a walk-in closet.
Oh, nice.
A nice dorm room.
It was really nice.
I didn't have a kitchen, and I shared a bedroom with 2 other girls.
That'll change things.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I didn't have anywhere to
also had to
store anything.
2 jobs by that point, so I had that extra money to be like, and Taco Bell was right across the street.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And a really good sandwich spot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mr. Good Sense.
Yeah, Mr. Good Sense. It was a hit or miss for me, but having that freedom, having a car, being over the age, I turned 21 when I was in the dorms.
Mm-hmm.
So much access to all the calories and all the foods that my little broken heart could desire.
Yeah.
And alone time and no therapy and just like sitting in it and dealing with it through eating started then, which was unfortunate, but everybody's got to go through something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was great updates.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, thanks for telling me more about your stories.
Yeah.
And yourselves and your experiences. Yeah. With that, if you could like and subscribe,
Please.
If you're watching us on YouTube, and then hit that bell so you can hear about our new coming episodes for Tarot Time and Contract Kitchen and all the things. Mm-hmm. If you're listening to us on a podcast network, please rate and review the show. We'd really appreciate it, and maybe share it with a friend. You can share an episode. You can share our channel really easily by hitting the 3 dots and then texting it and sending it off to someone that you think would enjoy hanging out with us.
Who needs a sister?
Who needs
Send
a
it
sister?
to them.
Come hang out with the sisters.
You have that friend who only has brothers.
Ooh.
You feel bad for?
Or maybe like I feel like a lot of our listeners have become a lot of moms who just like need something to listen to while they're momming it up or doing the car rides and drop-offs or doing grocery store stuff, which I love. I love that a bunch of moms are starting to become friends with us. That's so cute.
So sweet.
What else? I think that's it. If you're on social, please follow us. Everything is linked in the show notes. All of our personal pages are linked in the show notes, so come hang out on all the soch.
If you want all the cat content.
By this time.
By the time you hear this episode, I will have my cat.
Mommy. Hey, sister by blood.
Halsey.
Thanks so much for joining us, sister by contract.
Kelly.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Bailey. You've been listening to Blood and Contracts. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.